Today I'm going to do a quick review on the Juiced Scorpion bike. This thing is, to say the least, pretty cool. It's 52 volts, 10 amp hours. I bought this bike so cheap, and it really is a good quality bike. You have a headlight here that let me see if I could turn it on real quick. I should have been prepared. Yeah, so this light is pretty bright. It does have a stop and go light. And this is the screen for it. It has several modes. Right now it's on economy, and you got these buttons on this side. And this is the on and off button. This is the buttons for the screen, and you have pedal assist 1 or full throttle. It doesn't matter. However, 2, 3, 4, and then I don't know if that means race or reserve or what that means. I'm not sure. I leave it on economy because I pedal as I go. It goes about 9 miles an hour on that feature, and it's actually, there's things that I like about it, things that I would definitely change. So comparing this to my last e-bike, there's a few noticeable differences in the way that they behave. So my last e-bike was an F3. I'll put it up here. That bike felt more secure or just better laid out as far as the acceleration and the pedal assist. This bike here, when you pedal assist, it tends to make you, if you're like in the high gear, you're going up a hill and you're on pedal assist, it goes 9 or 10 miles an hour. So you start to kind of run out of, you start doing high RPM pedaling, and that's kind of weird because on my last e-bike, it kind of felt like it will go with your pedal, however pedal rate. So it helped, like it felt like it helped you pedal more than this. This feels like it takes over the pedaling, if that makes sense. And it kind of throws it off. I don't like it. I wish, I can just have a constant smooth pedal and be able to go, 6 miles an hour or 7 or 8. But this thing wants to just scoop you right off and into 9 or 10 miles an hour, which is too fast for a high gear. And I don't like switching the gears. There's so many hills on this little trail that you would be switching gears every 10 seconds just to try to keep up with that. I don't like that. However, this is an old bike. This is not a new bike. Bike is not as new as the last one I had. The last one I had was about a 2-year-old bike. This is a 5-year-old bike. This came out in 2020. This one is new because they bought it and they just let it sit in the garage. It had 60 miles on it when I got it, and it had a bad battery. And I went ahead and upgraded the battery from a 10 amp hour battery to a 17 amp hour battery, still being 52 volts. So it helps the distance a little bit. This has a 750 watt motor. So let me explain something about 750 watt and 500 watt. To me, between this bike and the F3, I don't feel a difference. I felt like the 500 watt motor was able to keep up on this exact same trail just as good as the 750. The con with this bike is this bike weighs 100 pounds. My F3 weighed maybe 70 or 60 or 70. I don't think it weighs 70, maybe about 60 pounds. So there's a huge weight difference. The con about that is, you know, when you're a big guy like me, I'm 250 pounds. We're already talking about 350 pounds on, you know, going uphill, and 750 watt doesn't, it does handle it, but it doesn't handle it like the F3 handled it. The F3, in my opinion, handled the hills way better than this Scorpion bike. Great bike, however. If you guys can get one, I will definitely jump on it. Beware of the battery, because these are older bikes. So I had to buy, like I said, buy a new battery for it, and it doesn't fit the case. So now I have to cut the case and make the battery fit, and all that's coming up next. You can see how I wired it here. This never comes off. I gotta tuck that in. This is the charger. And I just taped it on there for now, just to get it out here. I have put, let me see, how many miles have I put on it? It has 103 now. So, yeah. Turn this back off, let the battery cool down a little bit. Great thing about this bike, I do like, is the rear suspension. This is kind of like a scooter setup. So it has the rear suspension like a motorcycle or a moped. It has full suspension for front and back. You know, this has, you know, this one has an aftermarket horn. I don't really use it. You know, your little mirror so you can look back. The bag is a bag that I put on there so I can go to the store. The F3 had knobby tires. I think I prefer the knobby tires versus these. I was coming around the corner kind of hot down there and it's wet. And no, I'm not saying knobby tire would have grip better, but I never had that problem with the F3 coming around there, because that's always wet. I underestimated it with this one and almost took a little spill. So yeah, this one has hydraulic brakes. Great braking. The brakes are A1 on this bike here. That's better. They are better than the F3, which the one that I had was still wire. Other than that, I have no other issues or quarrels with this. Just the weight is an issue, and I don't think the way that they set up the controller in this, it's kind of dangerous, because it wants to give you all the beans right off the start, and it's, if you have to turn or there's an obstacle in front of you, you know, it could be dangerous. Great bike, however. It does go 27 miles an hour on that R mode, which I assume is race mode. If you pedal it, put it in low gear and you pedal it, it will go 30. I'm not sure if it's because the battery amp hours are more, or they go 30 from the factory. I don't know. This one goes 30. 27 on just throttle. And yeah, you know, it's it's definitely a fun bike. I'm 5'7". I fit good on it. This one, someone bought the adapter to pull the seat up higher. The gentleman that had this before me was like 6 foot tall. So it fits me right. I'm 5'7". I would say somebody 5'11", 6 foot would be fine on this. If you're a short person, definitely do not get the seat extension. Without the seat extension, I think a person 5'5", 5'4" would be fine on this. The seat is very comfortable. I don't have no quarrel there. And yeah, it's just an overall nice bike. Pretty cool. The distance, they claim 50 miles with pedal assist. Obviously that's not going to happen with a 100-pound bike. I'd say maybe 30 miles, 35 would be the maximum distance on this bike. With the higher amp hour battery, it might go 40. This one particular here might go 40. I have not been more than 10 miles on one particular trip, so the battery's still on full. However, if you jab it and she tries to take off on you, the battery voltage, you'll see the battery drop down a little bit, and then it goes right back to full. So that's another thing I don't like about this one. The F3, the indicator here was a lot more modern, I would say. And if it was 3/4 of a way battery, it would read 3/4. If it was half the battery life, it would read half. This one will read half, and if you let it sit for a little bit, it'll go up to full again. We know it's not full because you adjust at half. So it's kind of like a guessing game, and I don't like that either. It goes for distance though. I mean, this is not going to run out of battery anytime soon. It doesn't run out of battery fast. You have to ride it. And you know, if you're just throttling it without pedaling it, it does still last a very long time. To charge it takes about 3 hours. And it'll be fully charged. And yeah, just a cool little bike. You know, if you live somewhere where you have trails like this will be more than enough. Probably overkill. I would probably get something with a 500-watt motor, depending on, you know, what you want to do. But if you run into one of these now, this bike was $2,400 new back in 2020. Now you can find them for $500. But like I said, beware of the mileage. Like I said, this one only had 60 miles when I bought it. I knew it had a bad battery. I knew I was gonna have to get a battery. The battery on eBay was 160. I don't know the quality of that battery too good, but it does have the battery monitoring system. So, you know, and then when you buy the battery off of eBay, they do provide you with a brand new charger for that battery. I haven't had an issue. Battery's been in there now for about 2 months. And yeah, I just gotta obviously fix it better so it looks like it's original. And next video you'll see it'll have the battery box on it. Thanks for watching, and if it can help anybody, great. Please subscribe. I need a few more subscribers, and the next one might not be anything with bikes. The next one might be cruising or motorcycles or whatever. We keep it rolling. Thanks, you guys. Have a good one.